Hey guys and girls, a little tip today on changing your swing, successfully making a swing change. Now this is something that 99% of players struggle to do. It's the reason why most players never improve. They get to a certain level and they just play for years at that same level. Making a change is really not that difficult to do, but it requires a hell of a lot of discipline. You need to be able to do, change a habit, basically. So talking about changing habits, let's think about this in a different area of your life. So let's say you had a smoker and they want to quit smoking. Now, on paper, quitting smoking is really easy to do. You just say, just don't smoke anymore. Don't buy the cigarette. But you tell that to a smoker and it's really difficult. And it's because that behavior is built in them, and the chemical addiction aside, the behavior is built into them. When you look at people who quit smoking or quit drinking or quit biting their nails or whatever it may be, the absolute key to success, and pretty much the biggest key to success, is to never perform the old behavior again. So if you want to quit smoking, if you look at the statistics of people that quit smoking, the people that quit and never ever smoke a cigarette after that are more than twice as likely to quit than the person that has the odd cigarette on a night out or they cut down. They're twice as likely to succeed if they go cold turkey. And one of the major reasons for that is that habitual behavior. The neural pathways that are formed in your brain, they break down and they get cleared away, and new patterns emerge that don't involve them smoking a cigarette. And that's one of the main reasons why changing the habit entirely works so well. So how does that relate to the golf swing? So let's say you've got a player and they come over the top like this and they slice the golf ball. What's really important, is to, once they've got into the right position, maybe they're trying to get the club to fall to the inside a little bit more in order to hit it a little straighter or even to draw the golf ball. The most important thing they can do is to never revert to this again. Sounds easier said than done, the same way as telling a smoker to not smoke again is easier said than done. But it just requires the discipline of doing it. So if you're on the golf course and you're under a bit of pressure and you feel comfortable doing this and you say, I'm just going to play the way I normally play just for this hole, but then when I feel more comfortable I'm going to then do this. You're already making swings how you don't want to make them. You're re-establishing those neural pathways in the brain and re-establishing that mind-muscle connection that involves them making this move. Now, if I've got a player who commits to doing this every time, I know that he's going to eventually stop slicing because he's consistently repeating the correct move, and eventually the old patterns are going to die. The neural pathways physically in the brain are going to break down and be washed away, and the new patterns are going to be built, and they're going to get stronger and stronger until it's just part of them. And that's what happens when you build a new habit. Now the difficulty within this then comes from the player who is trying to do this, but he's actually still going like this. And this comes back to monitoring practice and quality of practice. So if you're standing there and you're making full swings and you can't help but do this, then you probably need to dial it back a little bit. You maybe need to make some slower swings. Maybe you should try some little quarter, half, three-quarter swings. Just ensuring that you are making the correct motion. Putting a training aid, putting an obstacle in the way to make sure that you swing inside it to hit that draw to stop yourself from going this way. Making it so that you cannot physically make the old move. And if you practice with that amount of discipline and gradually build it up, you will make the change, and you'll make it so much quicker than you think you will. I think the difficulty in this, the same as, again, quitting smoking cold turkey, is the fact that it's uncomfortable. You know, it's you want to go this way, the same way the smoker wants the cigarette. If you resist that urge early on, it gets easier, and the more you perform the right action, the more likely that action is going to stick. So when you're training that way and you're practicing that way, make sure that you make yourself accountable. So, like I said, put a bottle of water there and swing inside it, and miss that bottle of water every time. If you can do it every time, then you will be hitting from the inside. There's no cheat in it. Don't stand there, and even if you're trying to do this, but you're doing this, you can't do that. It's not effective, because your brain doesn't remember what you're trying to do. It remembers what you're actually doing. So that would be my advice to making a swing change. If you are very disciplined in making the change and sticking with the movements, it's going to be a matter of time, and it'll be a really short period of time before you see success.